guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Legends of Tomorrow, issue 1. And this is a really big comic. It has a bind. It's a thick comic. And it's a $8 comic. So of course I'll discuss that. But before I start discussing the issue, just want to give you guys a couple updates. Of course I have Comic Uno, episode 138, and that show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show. And here are the exclusive comics. We have Grim Fairy Tales, issue 120. 8th Seal, issue 4. Lords of the Jungle, issue 1. Santeria, the Goddess Kiss, issue 1. Titan's Hunt, issue 6. Puck, issue 5. Batman and Robin Eternal, issue 24. Poison Ivy, issue 3. Injustice Gods Among Us, year 5, issue 6. Black Canary, issue 9. All New X-Men, issue 6. Silk, issue 6. Captain Marvel, issue 3. Power Man and Iron Fist, issue 2. Extraordinary X-Men, issue 8. So if you want to go check out all those reviews, go to Comic Uno, episode 138, which is annotated. Let's start talking about Legends of Tomorrow, issue 1, which I originally was going to get digitally, but I said, alright, it's the first issue, I'll get it printed, because I wanted to do an in-depth review for it and show you guys the artwork also. So I got it. I paid the $8 for the issue, but like I said, it's a very long issue. This is going to take you a little while to read. It's like 4 issues in one book, so, and it's complete issues. Like a regular comic you have here, it's 4 of these. Well, not really 4 of those, because that's an extra, that's a double-sized book, but 4 of these. But let's start talking about the cover. Really enjoyed the cover. At first I thought this had to do with, Firestorm, so I got excited. I was like, oh cool, it's gonna be like a girl counterpart with Firestorm, and then I saw her as Sugar and Spike, so I'm like, oh, completely different story. But you do have Firestorm on the edge here. You have all the characters that have featured here. You had Metamorpho and then the Metal Men. So, and what's interesting about this, a lot of these stories are really written or drawn by their creators. So, I mean, the biggest one here, I would say, is Firestorm being written by Jerry Conway again, who was the original writer for Firestorm. But let's start talking about the story here. Well, I'm going to talk about it, I guess, issue by issue. That's the way to do it here. So we're going to first start talking about the Firestorm story, which opens up the issue. And loved the artwork for the Firestorm story. I thought it was really well done, really bright, in classic Firestorm. So enjoyed the artwork. That was, like I said, really well done. Well, let's see what's going on with the story of Firestorm, and then we'll go issue by issue and then talk about it overall. But with Firestorm, we get to see that Jason is having a hard time with Matrix. He's sick. We're introduced to some of the New 52 characters, like, or from the Firestorm New 52 series, like Tanya. Also, we have Ronnie's mother, that's like the vice principal of the school, which is helping Jason kind of escape from school and try to figure out what's going on with the Firestorm Matrix. And that's most of the issue, of him being sick and exploding in the end of the issue, which I'm guessing we'll probably see Ronnie and Professor Stein combined in the next issue. I think it's just showing that they're going to have a new status quo with that, and I don't know what's going to happen to Jason, but yeah, that's pretty much the issue, and I thought it was pretty good. It was a good issue 1. It didn't blow me away, ha ha ha, blow me away. Anyways, yeah, it didn't blow me away, but it was good. I liked it. Honestly, it's probably the story I liked the most out of all of the stories, just because I'm more connected to Firestorm than any of the other characters. I mean, I know the characters, but I don't have any investment in them. I have more investment into Firestorm, and also going into the television show, which is also a big reason I picked up the issue, because, you know, part of the Legends Tomorrow podcast, so I wanted to pick it up, and Firestorm is the only character that's actually from the TV show, and it's not really the characters from the show, which makes sense, because, you know, Jax is not part of the comics, but you do have Professor Stein, which really does remind me of Professor Stein from the show. Alright, so moving on to the second story, which is our Metamorpho story. Again, good artwork. I've actually liked the artwork for all the stories. I think it's very clean and works well for their stories, so enjoyed the artwork there. Story was okay. Again, I'm really not, out of all four of these, I think I'm a less Metamorpho fan. But if you're a fan of the character, you can tell that they're picking at his history, and they did that well. His, I guess, love interest also, his doctor. So I thought that they did that well, and that was interesting. But it didn't make me care about the character at all, so I wasn't that interested with what they were doing there. Alright, so moving on to now the third story, which is Sugar and Spike. Love the artwork, and this was also a story I was really looking forward to because we don't really know much about teenage Sugar and Spike. And here they're just like fellow detectives, and they interact with other DC heroes like Batman. And this issue is about trying to get one of Batman's suits from Killer Moth. You know, it's not like the biggest action story, but I like that they just hold guns and they hold their own, and they're kind of detectives, and they play with other characters of the DC universe. We even see them interact with Alfred. So I thought that was pretty cool. Artwork, like I said, was really well done, and it makes me interested to see where it goes. And I think the two characters had good chemistry, which was really important. Alright, so now we're moving on to the last story, which is The Middlemen, if you can see that, yes. Another book where the artwork's really solid, and, you know, I keep saying I'm, like, surprised that all the artwork is solid, because usually with these big books, you know, you have some rushed artwork, because, like, oh, I need to finish, but because it's all 4 different stories, which could have worked as 4 different issues, you really do have some good, consistent artwork, which I enjoyed. So good consistent artwork for Middlemen. Also did well with coloring. Liked it overall. And with the Middlemen, it's pretty much the government not trusting the Middlemen, and that's the whole issue pretty much. Nothing really else happens in the issue. They're just going to be like depowered by the end, and that's what's going on. So that was a little lackluster of an issue plot-wise, but again, artwork was pretty good. So overall, I'm going to give this a 3-star rating because it is really expensive. It's an expensive book. I mean, you obviously get a lot of material for it, but none of the stories really blew me away. None of them like, oh my god, I have to pick up the next issue. They're all just, okay, they're good. I didn't hate them. I didn't love them, but they're okay. You know, they're enjoyable reads for what they were. So I probably will get issue 2 digitally to see where it goes, but again, wasn't blown away by the comic, but it wasn't too bad either. Honestly, I think all 4 of these titles would be more beneficial if they were single titles, but obviously understand that DC can't release all those titles at once, but would have liked that, and it's probably, I guess, selling better if you put it this way. But at the same time, I think this is gonna make some people not want to buy the book, because are you gonna want to buy an $8 book every month? I probably won't, and again, I don't know how long I'm gonna last with this series, but I think that's gonna be a hard sell with the book. But I guess they're gonna make up with it with the huge price tag, and so yeah, if you're into like trade reads, go pick it up. If you like any of these characters, I think they do stay in character for all of them, and they're interesting stories for these characters, but nothing that blows me away. So Legends of Tomorrow issue 1 gets 3 stars. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.